Hello, it is Wednesday, August 3rd, 2022. I'm Chris Remo, and welcome back to the New York Times Crossword Daily Solve. It is a Wednesday puzzle, so perhaps we're taking a bit of a step past the completely accessible, or relatively accessible puzzles of Monday and Tuesday as we head into the mid-week crossword. So this midweek edition of the Daily Solve has been brought to us by Josh Lucas, David Ennis, and, as always, the inestimable Hood Monster and the invaluable Timothy Mark. So thank you so much to the four of them, benefactors of the Daily Solve Patreon campaign, for directly supporting this channel and help making this series a sustainable part of my daily work. I do very much appreciate it. And if you'd like to join their ranks as benefactors and get the Daily Solve Let's Check the Crosses mug, you can find that at patreon.com/dailysolve, or of course in the link in the description field underneath the video. And thank you to everybody who's done that. Thank you to everybody who's backed the Patreon campaign at any level. For doing so, you will receive, of course, all of the bonus videos that go up on the channel each week, as well as the full archive of those that have gone up to date. So again, you can find that at patreon.com/dailysolve. And do subscribe to the YouTube channel. Like the videos, subscribe to the channel, do all those things. And now let's solve the Wednesday puzzle. This is a crossword constructed by Daniel Bodley. This is Daniel's third crossword for the New York Times, and it was edited, as always, by Will Shortz. So let's see what we have in store for ourselves. Like some testimony, oral testimony perhaps, and a carpenter's bladed tool. Why do I not see what that is? Is it an odds? Would you consider that to be bladed? What about this? Redding with 11 top 40 hits, Otis Redding. And to prioritize in a way, rank or rate, maybe. Rank, I think, is probably closer. Juice stand berry. Well, here we go. It's the official berry of the New York Times crossword, the acai berry. I haven't come across the old acai as much recently, but we had a period of a few months where I feel it was just absolutely omnipresent in the puzzle. What microchips help to find lost pets? You can have a microchip embedded in your pet that will help find it. And tacos al pastor, Mexican street food order. There we go. Al pastor being a pork dish. And with 30 and 49 across, test question to be answered by filling in the correct circle. Oh, interesting. So is that sort of, I wonder if we have a sort of multiple choice test that's going to be reflected in this grid somehow, with maybe one of these circles will have an X or something. Not sure. We'll find out. So test question. So in a, oh, I see. And the question will continue across 30. So, okay. So this is just the beginning of a very long question. Okay. So we'll come back to it. Park City getaway, say a ski trip, I guess. So Park City is ski resort, I suppose. And improv shows lack is a script because it's improvisatory. Part of a wheel would be the rim of a wheel. And like singing in the rain, usually. I don't know. Blank My Ride, 2004 to 2007 MTV series, Pimp My Ride, featuring the source of the you like a blank, so we put a blank in your blank meme. I think that's what that was. Carpenter's bladed tool, right. New ones may be sleep deprived. New moms or dads, I guess, probably in 4 letters. Probably ends with an S. Musher's vehicle, a sled. So you mush the dog sleds snow in the snow. And live it up is competed with, probably something ED, something shared a lot online. It's not a like, I don't think. Something shared a lot online, a link or a post. Not sure. Well, right, so it probably starts with an M or a D. Does that help? I'm not sure. Blank office, an office is capitalized. I'm not sure. Pool accessory. And made a knight, e.g. make a knight. Dub, maybe a monarch dubs a knight in a, maybe this is in a Scrabble game or something. Yeah, that looks like that might be it. In a Scrabble game, that B was helpful from Dub. Okay, this must be an odds, carpenter's bladed tool. And then striped aquarium denizen. Oh, it sort of looks familiar, but I can't bring it to mind. And here we have like singing in the rain, usually. Leader of the Decepticons in the Transformers series. I don't know. I've actually never seen any Transformers-related thing, now that I think about it. What about this? Blank office. Competed with not much, a bit maybe? Trudeau's party, the Liberal Party in Canada. So maybe this is a bit. And this vacuum sucks, 5 stars for 1. Irony maybe, or something like that? I'm not sure. Kind of just spinning my wheels a bit here. I should move on. Ooze is, I was going to say seep, which doesn't, what was this? Lost, oh, lost pets. I misspelled lost pets. Okay, glad I spotted that. To ooze is to seep. And song sung at sea is a sea shanty. Wildlife identifier, not sure offhand. C16 across. Okay, in a Scrabble game, this is probably what tile something? In a Scrabble game, what tile or tiles? Probably what tile. Because they'll have several choices here. So maybe these will be 5 different letters, which makes sense because it is a crossword. But I guess what I mean is it won't be a rebus or something like that, probably. So in a Scrabble game, what tile is worth the most or something? It'll be something like that, maybe. Pasture could be a lee. Oops. Common word for a pasture. Comes up in the crossword, so just bear it in mind. Certain workshop worker, an elf, one of Santa's elves, perhaps. And like singing in the rain, usually. Oh, a cappella. So unaccompanied by instruments. There we go. That makes sense. If you're singing in the rain, you probably don't have instrumental accompaniment. Oh, so pool accessory is a pool cue. Like a snooker cue, a cue, that like a stick, cue stick. That's what I was trying to say. Oh, zebrafish, striped aquarium denizen. That sounds right. Okay, I don't even think that's what I was thinking of, but that seems correct. So what tile is probably the next word. Confined is something noisy is happening outside. Character in Face Off. I've seen Face Off, but many years ago. Oh, never mind. It doesn't matter. It's just the slash character literally in the title, Face Off, which includes a slash. And the question mark clues us into the fact that something a bit punny is going on. So there we go. Didn't need to test my knowledge of the film Face Off. Just needed to observe its title. Declaration when putting one's foot down. I said no, maybe? No, I say no? What about this? Petting zoos. Okay, well, maybe it is I say no, because petting zoo sound could be ba, sheep could ba. I say no, perhaps. Like a cloudless night. Starry, maybe. You can see the stars without being obscured by clouds. Rushing sound is a whoosh, maybe? And pair in a dinghy, a boat, a pair of oars, a little rowboat. Wildlife identifier, oh, an ear tag, maybe. Wildlife could be tagged by rangers or whoever. Okay, Michigan neighbor is Ontario, so Ontario, Canada, borders Michigan in the United States. And healthful practices collectively are hygiene. There we go. Place for rounds of draft picks. Wondering if this is, it sort of sounds like it's referring to a sports thing, but I'm wondering if it's actually referring to a bar or a pub where you buy a round of beer on draft, for instance. Why can't I see it? Slowing down musically. So retardando in music is to indicate the player should slow down over time, and that's often abbreviated retard with a dot after it. So I think that's probably the answer, and of course the clue told us it's an abbreviation. Okay, C16 across. Oh, right, this is just that big long answer. What tile, in a Scrabble game, what tile is worth maybe here? Worth 2 points? I bet that's the answer. I'm going to put it in, and I know it might be incorrect because I'm jumping to conclusions a little bit, but I'm going to see if that helps. This looks like review. Oh, this vacuum sucks 5 stars for 1 is simply a review. Okay. I thought the ironic nature of the contents of the review was going to be the focus, but nope, apparently not. So competed with somebody is rivaled them. Live it up is to revel. There we go. Revel and rival to sort of echo each other. Okay, leader of the Decepticon. Oh, right. Okay, well, move on for now. Blank office. Oh, the Oval Office is sort of main office in the White House in the U.S. And something shared a lot online is a meme, right? Of course. And new ones may be sleep deprived are moms. His name means desire, Eros, god of love. And start of a famous line from a balcony. Oh, Romeo, from Romeo and Juliet, of course. Genetic variant is a what? Rice bowl garnish is nori, maybe? Seaweed? And that makes Megatron the leader of the Decepticons in the Transformers series. That sounds like it would be a robot, which is what I assume this is. And genetic variant, what is this? A strain of a virus or something. Blank Ray, pioneer in surrealist photography. Man Ray is a famous surrealist artist, so there we go. One of my favorite names, Man Ray. I just think it's an amazing name. Nudges in the right direction. You could give someone a hint. Hints. Here, take it. Drill sergeant's word. Hut. They're saying hut or hup. Hut, I think. I see that in films. Confined is shut in. And a hue such as pale mint or lilac. I don't know, maybe I'll delete this for a moment because it might be hup. It's destiny, kismet, sort of fate, kind of comparable to karma maybe in some ways. No, I guess it's not so much karma, it's more sort of luck, providence, that kind of thing. Supernatural sights could be visions. And a meeting format, video meeting, I guess, is that what that is getting at? Anomalous could be odd, so an unusual occurrence. Something is anomalous, it's odd. And ending with spasm, spasmodic, you might say, to turn spasm into an adjective. Prefix with conscious could be eco-conscious, and a classical lyric poem is an epode. This came up in, I think this was in the plus word recently. 1 of 2 in Monopoly, so 2 dice. So there are 2 dice in Monopoly, but this clue is only referring to either one of them. So a single die is what that's getting at. It's kind of like an or clue, that even though the clue contains several things, we're only answering one of them. Oh, this looks like a brew pub, the place for rounds of draft picks. Brew pub, okay. So I suppose the implication here is that the reason they have these picks on draft is because they brew them in-house. All right, part of a Velcro shoe. You could have a Velcro strap on a shoe, I suppose. And Big Sur, I guess this probably is. That's come up in the crossword a few times over the last, 6 months or so. It's a part of California, Big Sur, sort of geologically dramatic part of California, Big Sur. Hip-hop article, the with an A maybe? Oh, and look, right, these will be A, B, C, D, E, I bet will be these cells here. So anyway, genre for Mary J. Blige would be R&B, rhythm and blues, and word with end or earned, end run or earned run. Swahili word meaning freedom, or uhuru, I believe from which the Star Trek character's name was derived. And I'm just making sure I saw all of these answers. Okay, great, I did. Like rusty pipes, perhaps. Actually, sorry, let's go ahead and fill these in. A, B, C, D, E. I'm sure that's what they are. Oh, maybe not. Leafy shelter from the sun. A tree? Maybe this is the selected answer, and we have to put a rebus in it or something? That would be surprising, given yesterday I said there might be a rebus in tomorrow's puzzle. Probably not. And there might be. I don't know. I can't really tell what's going on here. This looks like it would be tree. Mars bar, candy bar. Barely make without, so you could eke out, as in you barely make, as in barely earn this much money. You just eke it out. You barely make it. Bread choice could be rye bread. So this tree looks right. Sign of burnout could be an ember, so a little ember from a fire. And like rusty pipes, perhaps, are leaky, and then hue such as pale mint or lilac is pastel, and drill sergeant's word is hup. Okay, I was right to not leave my hut in there. So pastel color tree, pastel shade, a shady tree, pastel shade tree, a shade tree. That must be what it is, a shade tree. Is that a term? I suppose it must be. I don't think it's not part of my vocabulary, I don't think. Is that? And that's the answer. Okay. All right. I wonder if it, I wish I first would have checked it by putting a D in there to see. So I guess what this means is we have A, B, C, D, and E as our choices. And we shade in, the idea is that you'd shade in this answer with your pencil, taking the multiple choice test. And so we can no longer see the D in there, which is the answer to the question, in a Scrabble game, what tile is worth 2 points? It must be D. And apparently not A, B, C, or E, which presumably must all be worth 1 point, I suppose, because B maybe is worth 3 or something. I don't know. I have no idea. A and E are probably worth 1 each. Anyway, look at that shade tree. What a funny thing. I wonder, yeah, I guess that must be a generic phrase to refer to a tree that produces a great deal of shade because of its, I don't know, leaf and branch structure or something. Anyway, there we have it. That was a funny crossword. I can't believe I sort of almost decided to predict that today's Wednesday puzzle would have a rebus in it. And then I kind of backed off because they usually don't, but they sometimes can, as evidenced by today's crossword. This will probably be a tough one for some people, simply because every time I've had a rebus in the puzzle, I don't know that I've ever had a video that included a rebus here in which someone hasn't said in the comments, I had no idea you could do that. So I'm sure people will be tripped up by this. I apologize to those people. Not that it's my fault, but I apologize anyway. And I didn't even really explain what a rebus was. So there's this function, the rebus function, that you can see here. Oh, I can still mess around with it. Look at that. Oh, but I can't change it. I can just enable the rebus mode, right? So that's just in the New York. That's a term used in a very specific context in the New York Times crossword to indicate cells with more than one letter entered into them. And almost always when it occurs, it's on Thursday, which is the day that tends to have more complex themes. But every once in a while, it happens on other days. I think it even has happened on a Tuesday, perhaps, and probably other days as well. But Thursday's the most common, so I wouldn't have expected it today, but it happened. Anyway, that's that. I'll move on. What a funny puzzle. And now let's discuss a bit of yesterday's puzzle. So what do we have? Sam, aka Frisco17, who is a prolific constructor of community crosswords over in the Daily Solve Discord chat server, by the way. I've solved several Frisco17 puzzles, and they always give me quite a workout, and I noticed a new one was posted yesterday, so I've got some work cut out for me this month in the Constructor's Corner video for the Patreon. Anyway, Sam, aka Frisco17, says, the theme of yesterday's puzzle may seem kind of arbitrary, but it's made tighter when you realize that not only are all of the themed answers 15-letter spanners, but that the doubled letters spreads across 2 words, in all of the entries. Right, that was a good point. So yesterday's theme was, the revealer was repeat after me, and it was clued as such because each theme answer had contained the letters M-E followed by 2 repeated letters, and I kind of remarked on what a funny arbitrary theme that was. And yes, as Sam aka Frisco 17 points out, the 2 repeated letters, the repeats after me, the first of the 2 letters was the end of a word, and the second of 2 letters was the beginning of a word. So it was an even more specific requirement placed on these phrases. So just an incredibly specific little linguistic category that the constructors identified. Anyway, Michael Lister points out Swedish krona, K-R-O-N-A, Danish krone, K-R-O-N-E, and a Norwegian krone, K-R-O-N-E. I'm not aware of any useful way of easily remembering which is which, however. Lasse Christofferson replies to say, being Danish really helps. I'm sure it does in this respect. And yeah, I guess I just get those confused all the time. Thank you for listing them out. I guarantee I will not remember them. Maybe if I just remember Swedish krona with an A. I guess that's the way to do it. And then if you see any others, you know that they have an E at the end. I don't know. I'll probably forget that. I just have to remember Swedish krona with an A. That's come up both in the New York Times crossword and the plus word, which I think is probably the reason I called attention to it. And finally, Tim Kent says, in tennis, a let is indeed a serve that hits the net and goes over, as I said yesterday. But what I didn't fully either remember or state or whatever is that it is only a let if it lands in the service box. If it hits the net and lands outside the service box, it's considered a fault. Theoretically, one could hit an unlimited number of lets without faulting, but the record in professional tennis is 4 consecutive lets, originally set by Serena Williams in 2013. So thank you. That is a pretty important distinction. It's a pretty important correction to what I said. So thank you for that, Tim Kent. I hope nobody in the past 24 hours used my assumption in a match of tennis. Probably not. Anyway, that's all I had for the clues from yesterday's puzzle. So I hope you enjoyed that and today's video, the video. And thank you for making it to the end. I'll be back tomorrow for the Thursday puzzle, where it really is more likely to have a rebus, although perhaps not this week since we've just had one. Who knows? I guess I shouldn't try predicting these things. But it will be a more involved theme, most likely, of some kind. This was a pretty ambitious theme for a Wednesday, though. Anyway, do come back tomorrow for the Thursday puzzle. And until then, have an excellent remainder of your Wednesday. Take care.